What's going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Just dropped off the kids at school. And today I want to talk to you guys about the Osmo Pocket 3 and what I finally came down after a week of continuously testing this thing. I mean, I've used this thing for hours every single day, running so many different tests, taking it out on real life vlogs and in stores, out of stores, auto mode, manual, filters, everything. I finally came down to the conclusion that I'm going to be using this thing in full auto and not care about all those other things, because you know what? I realized that it's been a headache. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of been a headache trying to learn this thing. I do love the camera. I will start off with that. The Osmo Pocket 3 is an awesome camera. I love it. I think if you're traveling, if you're a vlogger, if you just want an easy camera, you're not a videographer, you don't want to worry about settings, color grading, or anything like that, or stable footage, this is the camera to go. It's super easy. I think it's a great product. So that's that. I'm gonna talk about all the tests that I ran and my thoughts on it. And now this video is for beginners and also professionals. All right, so the first thing I want to start off with is DLOG M, which is the log or flat profile that this thing offers so that you can color grade, get the most dynamic range out of the image, and all that good stuff that comes with log footage. And what log is basically a flat looking image. It doesn't have any color in it. It doesn't have much contrast in it, so that you can color it and make it your own. You can add your own tones. You can add whatever you want to it. I've graded all types of log footage, and I can always get it to look like exactly how I want it. And I'm super happy with the results every single time. I never have a problem matching cameras or anything like that. I would say I'm not a professional colorist, I will say that, but I know how to use my tools and navigate to get a look that makes me happy and that I'm content with. Now, DLOG M, on the other hand, I don't know what kind of file this is, but I don't think it's log. I tried going on DJI forums and stuff because people have been asking this question. I tried looking it up and there's no real clear answer. I think it's kind of like a compressed raw or something, or sorry, a compressed log footage, or this is my own opinion, but I think DLOG M is actually just a Rec 709 that's desaturated. That's all. And they took off the contrast and desaturation. That is it. Like, I don't know what DJI standards are on 10-bit color, but this does not feel like 10-bit color. When you're outside and you got good daylight and all that stuff, colors are beautiful, and you can get it pretty much. You can get a good image on that. Now, I'm not saying, oh, okay, it's because you're shooting it in the dark. No, I'm just saying, like, just like anything, right? If you have a perfectly lit scene, then any camera's gonna look good. But this is a vlogging camera. So, and when you vlog, you're going in and out dark places. Like, look, right now I'm in my van. I got the sky over here. Like, it's doing a pretty good job exposing me and exposing this backdrop over here. And this is on full auto. So, and here's my last point on DLOG M. If you try using this on auto exposure and auto settings, the camera doesn't know what to do with it. Like, it's like, especially when you get a backlit situation. Like, if I was on DLOG right now, I would be completely dark and this would be exposed. For some weird reason, it doesn't pick up, like, I don't know if the meter changes or what it is, but exposure on DLOG M is not accurate. And you can try it for yourself. If you have this camera, try it for yourself. I'm pretty sure you're watching this video because you're trying to find answers like I was, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work that good. So, and I've compared it in the same lighting situations with normal profile and then DLOG. Auto settings still doesn't work. I don't think this camera was meant to be switching settings and using it on manual mode and all that stuff. Like, can you do it? Yes, but it's a lot harder. Like, I'd rather pick up my ZV-E1 because that's actually faster to work with. I have an ND on there that stays glued onto the lens, and I just turn it and I adjust it exactly how I want it. Super, super easy. Grab the lens, turn it, and I'm there. I can keep vlogging. Now, the downside to that is that the camera's a little bigger, right? It's bigger than the Osmo Pocket, and you can't put it on your pocket. You know, you'll have to carry a bag with you or a little strap. And if you're trying to vlog in public and stuff like that, you know, if you have like social anxiety and stuff like that, then it's gonna become an issue. This has made it very easy for me to vlog anywhere in public, and I don't feel scared about it or anything. So that's really cool. Now, the next thing I wanna talk about is the normal color mode. This is what I'm using right now, and I think it looks beautiful. I can actually color grade this thing because it is a 10-bit file, which it's kind of weird. I don't know. That's what throws me off. I don't know why DJI would put normal color mode 10-bit. Like, why would you put that on the normal color profile? Like, Sony doesn't say, you know, normal profile 10-bit. Like, it only offers you that option in the log profile. So it's the same thing as DLOG M. It just has DJI's color in it. Or it's kind of weird how DJI labels these things, and so that's kind of confusing. But it's 10-bit, and you can push the colors honestly just as much as you can with DLOG M. You get a good starting base. You don't need it. The cool thing about this is that you don't even need a conversion LUT. That's another thing too with DLOG M, real quick, that I forgot to mention. Not even DaVinci Resolve, the king of software for coloring, has a option in their color space transform for DLOG M, which just goes to show you, like, what is this thing? Maybe they'll add it in a newer update, but there's only stuff there for DLOG, not DLOG M. So I have it on there right now. This thing is exposing me perfectly fine. Like, I can see myself. The colors out here look really good. Everything looks good about it. It's perfectly exposed. I don't have to worry about anything. Like, I think the colors are beautiful. Some people are saying it's kind of a little oversaturated, but you can just tone that down in post. That it's very easy to work with, and it's made my life so much easier. So guys, please just shoot in normal profile mode. It's gonna make your life a lot easier, and you can still put your grade on this thing. Now, the next thing I wanna talk to you guys about is filters and motion blur, because I'm assuming if you're using filters, is because you wanna keep that 180 degree and you don't wanna get this jittery stuff I got going on here with the motion blur. The filters are cool. I like the idea of the magnet and everything like that, but now you're carrying a little case of filters. I recently bought the free will filters. If you go and check out my previous video, they're really nice, but the actual use of the real life use of vlogging and switching filters and going in from in and out dark areas, like right now it's partly cloudy, like it keeps getting dark and light, dark and light. When you're vlogging, you know, the lighting, like when you're vlogging on a day like today, where literally, like, look, the sun just peeked out like super strong, and then there's a big cloud coming. The light is changing the light is changing so much in these scenes, and if you have an ND and then all of a sudden the cloud comes in, it gets dark, your footage is gone. Like, it's way overexposed and it's not gonna work. So it is very hard to put on the filter and take it off. I thought people were exaggerating about this, but you will get fingerprints on it. You're gonna get, you might even drop it, honestly. They're very tiny and fragile. So you could scratch them, it's just a lot of work. This thing was not meant to be used in manual mode. Honestly, I would rather take my ZV-E1 and vlog with that, because it's way easier to adjust manual settings and get it exactly what I want. And if I wanted to get a super cinematic, top-notch image, then just use a full frame camera. Use a ZV-E1. Use an actual bigger camera. This thing is meant, it's a tiny camera. It's a 1-inch sensor. It was meant to be pop open, get your footage and go. It's about filming the moment, guys. I think for vlogging, motion blur is overrated, especially if it's gonna make your life harder. If you have to carry these little things and switching them on and off, I don't think it's worth it. It's gonna unmotivate you, cause more friction between you and the story you're trying to tell. Today, I'm in full auto, and you guys let me know if this motion blur is bothering you. Okay, so here's a perfect scenario of what I'm talking about with DLOG. Like, if this wasn't DLOG, I would be completely black and this would be exposed correctly. In normal mode, it looks pretty natural. I mean, I'm still a little bit dark, but it's doing a good job at balancing the exposure. So that's why you should shoot in normal mode. And look how easy it is to just like turn around, and my exposure is always good, especially when we're going in home. My gosh, my life is so much easier, and I'm enjoying vlogging now. So now we're inside the house. Don't even have to worry about switching settings. We're gonna make some coffee, guys. I had to grab the little stand for this thing because I'm gonna be doing a little talk head right now. Let's go over here. Voila, we got some light. Why did you get this camera? Ask yourself this question. If you already have this camera, why did you get it? Or if you're planning on getting this camera, why do you want to get it? And I think we all have a very similar answer, like the one I did when I got this camera. I bought this camera twice. The first time I bought it, I used it for the whole day. I went and picked it up in the morning, used it in auto mode the whole day. No, I did not use it in auto mode. I tried going the pro mode because I got sold by all the cinematic videos, DLOG M. Tried it out in so many different ways, shot all day, inside, outside. The overall feel and experience of shooting with it felt pretty good. It was my first time using it, and it was just so small, very easy to carry. But when I got back and checked out the files and all this stuff, I thought they were garbage. So I immediately packed it up and returned it like the same day. And then I started watching more YouTube videos because this is all that pops up on YouTube right now. This is the hottest camera right now for vloggers and all that stuff. It's like the 2025 portable camera. Maybe it's because I was looking up videos, that's why they're popping up on my feed, but I feel like it's everywhere. I think a lot of the users, the professional users, compare it to their DSLR cameras and then are very disappointed like I was. Now, the reason why we all want to get this camera, I think, is because it is small. It's compact. It feels really good in the hand. And besides all of that, guys, it has a really good image. Like, it's beautiful. Like this thing looks great. Like, and it's very easy to use. It's very easy to use. This is like an awesome dad cam. Like, I've been filming my kids, vlogging every day with this thing has been awesome. I don't have to carry anything else. I can walk with it. I'm not gonna get tired. That vlogger fatigue, it's a true thing. It's a real thing. Your arm will get tired. I thought the ZVE one was light, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go for a walk and vlog with it. And literally like 5 houses down my street, my arm was already super tired of holding my camera like that. And I have a very light lens. I'm rocking the 16 to 25 G lens, which is a very small, very, very light lens. The ZVE one itself is very, very light. And even then, like my arm was getting so tired. With this thing, I walked two blocks and I didn't even feel it. Like, it just feels so nice, and it's so small, like people don't stare at you. This thing just doesn't do video. It also takes amazing pictures. I wanted something easy, but as a professional and watching too many YouTube videos and all these cinematic vlogs, like it got to my head, and I want to, you have to break off. If you're a professional, you have to break off the manual settings, and that you have to shoot manual, and that you need to get motion blur and all this stuff. You don't need it, man. You don't need it. The reason why you're getting this camera is to shoot some behind the scenes. You want to be able to turn this thing on, hit record, place it, track yourself, do your photo shoot, give people the information you want to give, tell the story you want to tell, and not worry about anything else. You can still grade this normal profile. My profile right now is graded. I'll show you. This is the normal mode, and this is the grade that I put on it. See, you can still push and pull. And if you guys are interested in how I grade this footage, I can make a quick video on that too. You know what I realized after doing all of these tests with filters and all that stuff, and taking them off, trying to do manual, trying to color grade, all making my life so much difficult, I realized that the time that I was the happiest with this was the very first day when I got it. And you know why? Because I didn't have any filters, I didn't have any lenses, I didn't have anything. I only had the camera outside of the box, and I was vlogging with it, so I just decided to use it on full auto, and I fell in love with this camera. It wasn't until I ordered the filters and got all this stuff and then started watching more YouTube videos on how to get the best image, how to get cinematic vlogs, how to grade DLOG M and all this stuff. That's when I started making my life so much harder again, and I was almost at the point where I wanted to return this thing again. This camera is easy and super fun to use if you just let it do what it was meant to be. Here are a few settings, okay? And I think that these apply to pros and beginners, and this is what I'm using right now. Okay, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're going to wanna swipe up, go to 4K, 24 frames, set your auto white balance, go to the pro mode, you swipe left to go to the pro mode, select auto white balance, auto exposure, but then on exposure, you're gonna go to the EV for the exposure compensation, and you're gonna do -0.7. This is what I found out is the best. -0.3 still overexposes the footage a little bit. It's very normal. Almost all cameras do that. The iPhone does it too. So 0.07 is the best. I just leave it there. No matter if I go inside or outside, it just stays like that. I do go to sharpening, the custom image settings. -2 for sharpening, -1 for noise reduction. I found out that if you leave it at 0 default, it does make your skin and things look a little, I don't know, like a little waxy. Turn off the glamour effect or whatever, the skin glamour effect. I think it just looks a little too fake for me. I mean, if you want to use it, you can use it. Normal profile mode. Don't worry about HLG or this D-Log thing. Just normal profile. You get this color right here, and I think it's beautiful. Now, in terms of accessories, if you are looking at accessories for this thing, the combo kit is amazing. But if you go to DJI website, they actually offer a couple or a few other variations of the Osmo Pocket combo. And I think the best one for me is the one with the DJI mic mini like this. Now you can't record internally on this, but remember, the whole idea for this is to make it easy. The internal microphone in this thing sounds amazing, but if you want to be able to step away from your camera, then you're going to need one of these wireless mics. And it's also just going to improve the sound quality of your voice as well. So, and then the last thing I think you should get for this thing is the lens that I'm currently using. It's a ultra wide lens from K&F Concept, and I think this is the widest lens. It's wider than this one right here. This Freewheel is one of the ones that's being sold on YouTube quite a bit. It's a good lens, but it's almost the same as the DJI one, and the DJI one barely does anything. This one is super wide. Let me show you the difference. That's your DJI lens right there. And here's the Concept. Boom. Look how wide that got really wide. Like, I don't even think you could see this doorway. Let's take it off again. Oh yeah, you can, but it gives you such a wider field of view. So I hope I changed your mind. Use it in full auto, normal color profile, and you're gonna enjoy this camera. I can't stress to you how much I enjoyed it the first day I got it, and it was because I didn't have any of these filters. And if you're still not convinced, part 2 is gonna be coming out of this video, and basically I'm gonna continue the day vlogging straight up in auto, so that way you guys can decide if you like the footage, the motion blur, and does the ND matter? Does motion blur matter? Does D-Log matter? I think after you watch that vlog, hopefully it convinced you to just shoot in auto and enjoy this thing for what it is. Peace.